بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده تبارك وتعالى ونصلي على جميع أنبيائه ورسله ونستفتح بالذي هو خير. سبحانك ربنا لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. نعوذ بك اللهم من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله وسلم عليه وعلى آله وصحبه. أما بعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Either one, but I mean, does it work or no? Okay, we are in the middle of Surah Nahl. And we were last time talking about this important chapter, start from verse 64 and end with conclusion in verse 84. This all together, 64 to 84, and end up with conclusion. What is the end result of all this? Basically signs, basically miracles. Allah is putting one after the other, that He did so and so and so for us. And then after that, if we decided to deny that and to go astray, we have to be prepared to bear the consequences. Okay, so let's two sides of today, to put them together. Basically, we said the surah basically given us the name and the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the form of His actions in the universe and His creation, and how all of these were oriented, catered, centered around human being to be living on earth in a best fashion, best way, in order to implement the will and the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now after that, if people decided, after knowing these bounties that are given, designed purposely by Allah to man, if they decided to deny, to reject, to refuse, to bury and cover these bounties and the signs of Allah, then they better prepare for the day of judgment. So those signs, as I said, they start all of it with Allah did so. Allah did so for you. Allah did so for you 12 times in sequence, one after the others. Allah did so. So why He is neglected, ignored? Why you don't worship Him and you worship everything else that have done absolutely nothing to you? So the first one is, which is 64, Allah has sent down the rain. And now we are not going to go again and explain that, because we already know basically how the rain, first of all, is basics for us. We cannot live, we cannot survive on earth without rain. At the same time, the rain, if it is not Allah has made this cycle of rain, we will have absolutely no control over this rain. As Allah has stored the water in the oceans, make it so salty to preserve life in on the inside the oceans and the seas. And then Allah has sent a amount of heat, the right amount of heat from the sun to evaporate some of that water. In the water, when it is evaporated, it is Allah's laws to leave the salt behind and to become sweet and rise. The temperature on the surface of the earth is high. the more you go far away from the surface of the earth, getting cooler and cooler and cooler, until you reach to a point where it is definitely freezing, and more than freezing. So that vapor comes to that level and it starts condensed. And when it is condensed, get heavy and crystallized, and then coming back down in a form of clouds. And then the wind take the clouds to whatever Allah wants, and receive the order from Allah to send it as a rain, or as a hail, or as a snow, or as a mountain of hail, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if He wants to. So this cycle, it's the design of Allah also. Going through all of it is it by the control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even where is going to rain, it is also, Allah said, it's because Allah sent the wind and give the order, take the cloud to that place, and that's the place where it's going to rain. So, okay, that's a good question. No, it's not one area continuously and one area never. No, it's there is a cycle, and that cycle, Allah is so fair to distribute, say, rain, fairly give a chance for every part of the earth to have abundance of it. Whatever today is desert used to be really garden, and a lot of rain of it. And now the turn is for others. Those areas where it is totally really a lot of rain and green and garden used to be desert. So it rotates, but the cycle is long. It's not just, within generation. But absolutely not always in the same place, absolutely not. It's always, there is a reasons beside the wind that Allah sends rain wherever He wants, but also in a cycle way. Just as we said in Ramadan, we fast in the winter, then the cycle is going to come when we fast in summer. And the cycle is going to come when we fast in spring. The cycle will come when it's going to take long, but the cycle is going to go. So Allah is fair and give everybody chance. Same for the rain. Allah gives everybody chance to have all the rain they want and all means of prosperity they want, and see what they're going to do, and then rotate it to the others. But it is not the good idea that to have the whole earth on the same level of prosperity, the whole earth on the same level of rain and good things. It's not going to work. You remember when Musa alayhi salatu wasalam was kind of having question and answer. Why some people poor and some are rich? He said, Ya Allah, just make them all, just give them all, as much as they want. Allah told him, it's not going to work. He said, no, I just don't want to see anybody that is living in poverty. So Allah really make them all rich. And then what happened? Sent rain on his village. And so roofs collapsed of his house and everybody else. So he went to hire somebody to help him. Everybody said, no, I don't want your money. And came and said, Allah put it back. Because nobody's going to do anything, absolutely. If everybody got everything, they are not going to do anything. If you get all the money you want, you are not going to do anything, but you're going to hire. But the one you're going to hire, he gets all the money he wants. How are you going to do it? Do it by yourself, and you can't. Many things in this life, you cannot do it by yourself. So basically, that is what is it. If Allah said, فَضَّلْنَا, and this verse is going to come, we elevated some in the status of provisions, and some lowered them, so that the only way life is going to work. No, it's story, just story. It's logic, maybe even just made to explain things simply, because that is logic. But the verse is here that Allah purposely, He said, prefer some over others in matter of provisions and sustenance. That is how it's going to work. because we need to work collectively. And if, as I said, if I have all the money I want, I'm not going to do anything, I will hire somebody. But if nobody to hire, everybody get what they want, so how are you going to get things done? Nothing is going to happen.
Also, like Surah Iqra, when Allah said, like, when the people are self-sufficient, they become very arrogant.
Become very arrogant. Also, they reject the deen. Basically, when you become, this is a big phenomenon. When you feel, you just reject the truth. Really, you reject everything. You want to continue to do whatever you want to do. Okay, is that clear, Ya Maulana? All right. And just like why people fasting Ramadan in the summer all the time? No, they are not. In 36 years, 40, they're going to rotate the whole cycle and get. So Allah said, وَتِلْكَ الْأَيَّامُ نُدَاوِلُهَا بَيْنَ النَّاسِ. We give it all chances, we pass them through all humanity in rotation cycle. And that cycle might be long or short, but Allah said that is the way it is. Even the power, the might, the domination, the province, the provisions, Allah said, I rotate it among all mankind where every nation got their chance. They do right or wrong, that's up to them, but I give a chance for everybody. Okay? So that is, well, we are not going to go into detail. Wallahu anzala min as-sama'i. That's number one. We said 65, 64. We need.
Next one,
Right. وَإِنَّ لَكُمْ. The second one is the milk that we enjoy with all its derivatives and products. How it was made, Allah said, I made it. You don't even know how. Forget about you making something like that. You don't know even how. And Allah said, okay, here the process. What is input and what is output? The input, as he said, farth and dam. Chewed grass and blood. That is the first. And the end up outside is milk. You figure it out. Farthin wa damin. The starting point is chewed grass and blood. And then the end product is milk. You figure it out. But to tell that is a sign from him. And the number three, ثمرات النخيل, the fruit of all kind of fruits that you make out of the fruits. Not only you just eat fruit, you make all other kind of oils and medicine and all other stuff from the fruit, and the wine. You make all other derivatives from the fruit, basically. And here the focus on the date, the grapes, and how you can transfer that in making wine and winery and all other kind of juice and other kind of drinks. That is number three. Number four, the honeybees. Okay, number four, the honeybees. Allah, look how this kingdom of the bees, they work and organize, and we went in detail about that, and how the product that they bring is honey, and that honey has all kind of good qualities and all variations in it. Number five, خلقكم ثم يتوفاكم, which is verse 70. والله خلقكم ثم يتوفاكم ومنكم من يرد إلى أرذل العمر لكي لا يعلم بعد علم شيئا إن الله عليم قدير. We look at ourselves, we are created by birth, and then some of us will die healthy. Some of us will live long until they lose all means of living. Right. Alzheimer's, right. And he said, this is the design of Allah. Do we like it? We don't. Who likes to die while he's young? No. Well, who likes to live until become? But as he said, this is the way I designed it. You can tell you have no options about it. You can't control it. You can't change it. You cannot alter it. I select who is going to go longer, and then, as you can tell, miserable life. or leave this life while they are healthy. That is number 5. Number 6, you're going to read all of this later. 71, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَاللَّهُ فَضَّلَ بَعْضَكُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ فِي الرِّزْقِ. That is I want to read right now, 71. That's the pure quest. Until it's green. Well, there are ladies.
And Allah has preferred some of you above others in wealth and properties. Then those who are preferred will by no means hand over their wealth and properties to those slaves whom their right hands possess, so that they may be equal with them in respect thereof. Do they then deny the favor of Allah?
Okay, basically it was the will and the design of Allah that some of us prefer wealth and properties, as he said, and some were less. And that is the way life is going to work, how we have to be in need to one another. If we are not in need to one another, then we are not going to really cooperate. If I don't need you, I will not cooperate with you. And that is what is it. Allah, He knows that we are rebellious, even to one another. And even in the side of the house, the wife and the husband made them in need to one another. Otherwise, they will not cooperate, and so on and so forth. Okay, so he said that is the design. But also at the same time, Allah said, you are preferred by wealth and properties. And imagine you are a slave. Will you elevate the slave to be like you in the status of your money and your wealth and your possession? Will you raise the slaves to be like a master? Yeah, you have a slave, and you have wealth and property. Will you not just set them free? No, raise their rank to become partner with you in everything you have. Will you do that? Even the wife and the husband, they don't do that. How about if it's slave or somebody you just hired? Say you have the company and you hire someone to work. Will you elevate that worker or that manager to the point where he is equally with you, have the whole right, and it is private company? You will never do it. Okay? Well, when we raise someone to the status of God and worship them, that's what we claim. When we worship idols, and today that is the subject, worshiping idols. This era is the era of worshiping idols. Maybe you didn't see it, but I'll explain to you. That's really the topic of this subject. After we finish this, instead of worshiping the true God who did all of this era is the era of worshiping idols. What kind of idols? We'll come to it in a minute. But that is what Allah is saying. When you worship idols, you basically elevate those slaves of Allah. Idols are the slaves of Allah. You elevate them to be equally with Allah, and they have absolutely nothing. And that is wrong because you don't do it for yourself. How are you going to do it to Allah? Everyone is the slave of Allah. They are not gods. So that is 71. Number 82, which is number 7. وَاللَّهُ جَعَلَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا وَجَعَلَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَزْوَاجِكُمْ بَنِينَ وَحَفَدَةً وَرَزَقَكُم مِّنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ. You only know that when you get married and you have children and grandchildren. You know that. He's telling me, I love my grandson. Okay? And everybody, I love my children. Actually, in a certain age of your life, you are going to be totally focused, consumed about your children. All your energy, resources, concern, thinking, all focused around your children. And Allah said that. And this is all those who have children, day and night. I work for children. I run and run and do this and do that, basically for my children. Allah said this is a phase of your age. You know there are how many 7 phases that we go through? 7. The first, when we are just little kids, what do we want? Until we are, say, maybe 9 or 10. What is the focus of the children? What they want? Play. That's all. They don't want anything else. And Allah said, this is a phase they're going to go to it. All their focus, play. And that's when they are 10, 12, 13, what do they want? Huh? No more play. They want what?
The good ones want learning, but
Lahu, entertaining. Video games, movies, and these, and just keep. That is until they are 14. It is taken them all. They hate anybody who will restrict them from that. La'ibun wala. Then once become 15 and above, no more. What is it? Zina. How do I look? How is my hair? How is my legs? How is my these? Okay. So it is another phase is zina. Zina means you just want to look the best. And you compare yourself and you look and you get so offended if someone give any comments. What is this? Why this shoes? Why this hair? Why this? Why this? Okay, so that is the third phase. La'ibun lahun zina. Okay, once you finish college, what do you do? You know, student of the college, and then above that, what they do? They're like homeless. They don't care even what the kind of shoes they wear. Okay, what is it? See the tafakhur. Tafakhur, I have that degree, I have that job, I bought that house, I have that car, I have that husband, I have that wife, I have this. Tafakhur. Boasting to what I have. All these phases are gone. Playing, I don't have time for play. Go to college kids and say, are you going to play? Say, forget about play. What is play? Or zina, I don't care. I just grab something, then put it on and go. It's not time for anything else. So that is tafakhurun baynakum. Tafakhurun baynakum. And also you measure yourself with the others. Oh, he has this degree, he has this job, he has this money, he has, and many people they just talking, oh, he got this, he got this. Okay, so why you worried? Just do your work. Tafakhurun baynakum. And then the next phase, takathur. Takathur, basically you want one house, you get the opportunity, another house. One car, another car. One child, the other child. Third child, fourth child. And so on and so forth. Then 1,000, 2,000, 100,000, 300,000. Takathur. I want to accumulate and build it. There is no end to it, no matter what is it. Okay? Takathur. Fil amwal. Takathurun fil amwal. That is what I want to what is it? You know, to secure the future of my family. Okay? Takathurun fil amwal wal awlad. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, this is your life, really. This is your life in sequence. You go through them one after the others. And then you finish your life and you go down there. What did you do for yourself? The play is not going to help. The beauty is not going to help. Adoring yourself. The boasting. The wealth, nothing is going to help, Allah said. All of these, if you have not done righteousness, all of this, nothing going to help. But this is how we are. So this is the verse, وَاللَّهُ جَعَلَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا وَجَعَلَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَزْوَاجِكُمْ بَنِينَ وَحَفَدَةً وَرَزَقَكُم مِّنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ أَفَبِالْبَاطِلِ يُؤْمِنُونَ وَبِنِعْمَةِ اللَّهِ يَكْفُرُونَ 72.
And Allah has made for you azwaj, maids or wives of your own kind, and has made for you from your wives sons and grandsons, and has bestowed on you good provision. Do they then believe in false deities and deny the favor of Allah by not worshipping Allah alone?
Basically, this is a question for each one of them. do they worship false deity? That is, afa bil batili, believe in false deity. And then the bounty of Allah, they just bury it. All of these 12 signs, that is the question. Why you believe in the false deity and you bury the bounty of Allah as if it doesn't exist, though it is obvious. So that is number, now min azwaj and azwaj, that is will be a long time, long lecture to talk about how family can, wife and husband and wife and then children, how they can make it work, or how can they just break it. Breaking is very easy. Anybody can break anything. I mean, the easy thing, say, okay, well, just go for divorce and everybody goes his way. That's anybody can do it. But make it work, that is the difficult and the challenge. And that is what everybody has to learn, prepare, study, train, consult with the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala how to make it work. Because it's a failure, really. If it does, everybody goes his way, it's a failure. You mean you failed. As you failed with this one, you're going to fail with that one, and so on and so forth. So, because Allah said, أَزْوَاجًا مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ, right? Did you hear the verse, what he said? Your spouse or your mate from...
And Allah has made for you azwaj, mates or wives of your own kind, and has made for you from your wives sons and grandsons, and has bestowed on you good provision.
So, three reasons for this family to function and stay in harmony. One, it is a mate, it is a complementary that you need, as a male or a female, you need a spouse. That's one. Second, it is from among yourself. It is part of you. It's not a stranger body. We are not going to implement a foreign body on you. It's not a foreign body. Your husband and your wife is really part of you. Your personality, your blood, your mind, everything, it is just the same. That's number two. And number three, Allah has also given you offsprings to strengthen the bond. Because you love the children, the spouse, the father love the children, the mother love the children. Okay, well, love one another, because the children is the common bond between you. And the fourth one is, Allah has provided for you for living. And it is everywhere around you. Allah has bestowed all bounties around us. Seek that. Do not use the last one to be the reason for dismantling the family. This is the last one. This is رَزَقَكُم مِّنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ. The main problem is, it's the opposite of this four. What happened to the families when they just didn't get along? It's the opposite of the four. Number one, you don't see it is a compliment. Your husband or your wife is not a compliment to you. And that's why it is true that you have to have 80% of qualities, interest common between you. If it is not, most likely there will be friction and repulsion. If only 5% is the common between me and my wife, or my wife and husband, then most likely the 90% will take over, because they are different. I am different this way, you are different that way. And you keep counting 90 attribute and behavior and interest are different, then we are going to split. We can't. We will never be able to stay together. That is why it is so important in Islam, engagement and knowing one another, and also from the same background, the same culture, the same social status. So to make the maximum factors are common. And we are mu'mins and we are Muslims and we have the fear of Allah. and we are committed to the will of Allah. If the majority of the factors of these two companies is common among them, they're going to last. And then after that, the wisdom, the mercy, the love, the children, the fear of Allah, it will work. There is no doubt about it. Actually, there is every reason for it to work. But if the start is wrong, the start is from the beginning. You just selected one because of the beauty, for example. And you tell that there are so many things are different. Culture, thinking, age, status, background, iman, piety, quality, all is different, then it will never work. What the beauty is going to die, and then all the problem will come out. Well, the effect of some of them, as the Prophet ﷺ said, the effect of some of them is stronger than the others. And basically, if the religion is there, it should compensate for all deficiencies in the other ones. Why? Because the piety of Allah. What you remember the Badwan, what he said? Said what?
Well, yes, who should I marry my daughter to? And he said, marry to someone righteous, because if he loves your daughter, he'll treat her like a queen. And if he hates your daughter, he'll still be just to her, because he fears Allah.
Fair and just. So this is compensate for others. I mean, if you have the fear of Allah, you can see the differences, and always there will be absolutely no two individual match 100%. Even they are brothers, even they are twins, come from the same wombs. The mother gives birth to them at the same time. They will never be equal, same in everything, never. So when you get married, there will be some differences in thinking, in interest, in background, in culture, in feelings, in all these things. You got to be prepared to be strong and live a collective way where we make a team. And the only way we can make a team if we cooperate and give and take. And the Prophet ﷺ said, you might see something you don't like. At that minute, you must remember all the things that you like. And you say, oh, for one thing I don't like, I'm going to sacrifice all these things I like. That's wrong. That's what the Prophet ﷺ said. You might, it is definitely, you might have something you don't like. If it is now something that you can live with it is impossible, the Prophet ﷺ said, then you go for divorce in a nice way. إمساكم بمعروف تسريح بإحسان. You hold to one another according to the norm and the standards of Islam. But if you are going to split, no, in the best term possible. So we live together in the minimum term, but we separate in the highest level term. Now what we do? The other way around. It's a war. Oh my God. It's a real war. When we get to divorce, it's a real war. And the reason is because the fear of Allah is not there. That's all. The taqwa, the Quran, the iman is not there. The understanding is not there. We raise an issue and fight about everything that we differ. Then every day we'll have a fight. Because every day we will have different opinions about something. So basically there are 4 reasons, and there are many that to make it work perfectly, the design of Allah. But if the opposite of it is there, then it will never work. The number 1 is complementary. Alright? They are, as Allah said, pairs. Can you wear one sock? Can you wear one shoe? Can you wear one leg of the pants? Okay, he said just like that. If you have only one hand, how are you going to be? So that's what he said. They are pairs. Means they work perfectly together. They are needed, both of them, not one of them. I mean, if my arm is taken off, still I can live, but it's not as good as when I have 2 arms. Okay, that is what is pairs. Allah has made this parity among them. That's number one. And number two, and basically we know the woman can do things that the man cannot do, and there are things that men can do, women most likely can do, and that's why we have to admit that. Right? Yeah, you know, we are in a total immorality today. You can probably, if you have seen this government called health.gov, they say the household, male or female, okay, and a husband. Then the spouse, male or female. Wallahi, you fill up the application, your spouse is a male or a female. Yeah? It's amazing. Wallahi, this is health.gov. Is your spouse male or a female? Spouse. Not significant others or... No. You have to fill the form, and you fill a spouse is a male or a female. The Jews, kaput something, there is a sect, Jewish sect.
Oh, Kabbalah.
Kabbalah?
The
Right.
mystical one where they do like, I don't know, like sihr or something like that.
No. Okay, well, now they have been doing research to figure out the difference between male and female, assuming there is no difference. So they take the children immediately after birth and put them in an environment away from the influence of their parents. Because they say, whoa, girls behave that way because she is conditioned by the parents and environment. And the boys behave that way because they are conditioned by their environment and their family. So it is not natural, it is nourishing. So they take them away. And they put them in an environment where they are going to act naturally. And they bring them toys, dolls, mechanical things, buns, colors, makeup, and leave it to them. Let them act naturally. And they have done this for 40 years. The boys take the blue and the gun and the mechanical things. And the girls take the kind of red, the pink, and the dolls and the makeup. And they kept doing it over and over for 40 years. This is the way they are. I see them in my house here, Afnan and Ihsan. She loves the dolls. Ihsan take them and throw them in the trash. It means nothing to him. But they want to put forcefully that we are saved. What do you mean by we are saved? Not we are not saved. And Allah said we are not saved. Absolutely not, we are saved. And then you go to the motherhood. And you remember one person came to Hajj carrying his mother on his shoulder and met Umar ibn al-Khattab. He said, I brought her from the village. I made all the Hajj and I carry her on my back. I take her home. Did I pay her back? Umar said, all what you have done is not equal to 1 gram at your birth. It's not equal to 1. Carry her for that long is not equal to 1. Pain comes at your birth. Okay? There is no way you... For your father, he said, the Prophet ﷺ said to another person, for your father, you can compensate him if you do the following. If you find your father a slave, and you buy him and set him free, you can compensate him. But if your mother, you will never be able, no matter what you do. Okay. So, what we hear saying that it is a complementary role. The man need a woman and a woman need a man. And they have to be compatible, and communality should be the dominant frame of their combination or their parity. If it is the communality is less or minimum or bad, and they are rigid, they are not flexible, they have no fear of Allah, there's no doubt about it, it will never last. We have a brother here, spent 3 years looking for a woman to marry, well educated, and he was very good here in the community, and he brought his family from overseas, and they went somebody here, and then in Dallas, and then Phoenix, in Florida, in Washington, in Chicago, all of this, and then finally found someone, and then get married. Within 6 months, they are gone. Divorce, and everybody on his own. What happened? Oh, well, he said she's too Americanized. Okay, and what you are? He's living here, and he's citizen, and he's a professional. Okay, she's too Americanized. What you are? If it will never work. Now, not anymore. Okay, you're gonna go get look for someone. Say, oh, you already married before? Oh, I'm not going to get you married to my daughter. And oh, she already married and divorced. She must have problem. I'm not, why you make all this damage to yourself? And it is a failure, means both of you are really a failing individuals. If there was a serious issue, there is a difference, definitely. Somebody was born and raised here, somebody born and raised somewhere else. There will be a difference. There is no doubt about it. But you get to be prepared to look to the commonality and what Allah said. So let's just go for things Allah mentioned here that been set to make the family work, the azwaj, the marriage work. Number 1, complementary. Number 2, it is from you, because Allah has created Eve from Adam. Okay? So something just like your hand, like you, it's part of you. It's not a stranger. It's not made out of anything different than what you are made. Has a mind, has a soul, has a feeling, has a taste, has all the things you have, she has. She's not an angel. She's not a jinn. She's not a devil. You are not an angel, and so on and so forth. It is just exactly human being like you. Were born. She was also 2 parents, and so on and so forth. That is number azwaj. You are made in parity because of that. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, has grant you children. Children is common bond, because both parents, most likely, they might have friction among themselves, but they love their parents dearly. All right? He said this is another enforcement, another bond to hold you together, which is around the focus around the children, that they are dear, they loved, revered by both of you. And then the last one, which is hinted, at-tayyibat. Risk sometimes is sustenance, is the source of all the friction. And Allah said, you should not look for the quantity. In matter of sustenance, you should focus on quality, not quantity. And quality, he said, tayyibat. If it is halal, tayyib, if it is very little, you should be happy with it. You don't want too much, but it is khabith, it is filth, it is haram, it is not lawful source. So if you go by that, Allah is guaranteed, said it will work, inshaAllah ta'ala. All right, you finished that one? You read it? Number 70, 72? All right, let's go to number 9, which is 78. ويعبدون من دون الله ما لا يملك لهم رزقا من السماوات والأرض شيئا ولا يستطيعون فلا تضربوا لله الأمثال إن الله يعلم وأنتم لا تعلمون. Go ahead and read all of this until 77. From 72 until 77. This is all illustration to the concept that Allah is the one who made all of this. Now,
Allah has made for you azwaj, mates or wives of your own kind, and has made for you from your wives sons and grandsons, and has bestowed on you good provision. Do they then believe in false deities and deny the favor of Allah by not worshipping Allah alone?
This is the title of all this paragraph. That's the title. Believe in the false deity and deny the favors of Allah. Okay.
And they worship others besides Allah, such as do not and cannot own any provision for them from the heavens or the earth.
Those false deities don't provide anything for themselves or for you. Okay.
So put not forward similitudes for Allah, as there is nothing similar to him, nor does he resemble anything. Truly, Allah knows, and you know not.
And this is again, we have gone through this. Allah does not resemble any qualities, name, attribute, or behavior of His creation. Okay? Allah is unique, singular. Nothing in His creation reflect or similar to any of His qualities and attributes. Whatever it is actually the opposite. Whatever the creation being attributed or described, Allah is on the other, in contrary to that. We need, He doesn't need. We are limited, He's not limited. We know little, He knows everything. We are incapable, He is capable. We have this vision, Allah can see everything. We have this hearing, Allah can hear everything. We have geographical dimensions, Allah has no limit and no geographical dimensions. Everything that is in us, Allah is totally the opposite of it. So there is nothing similar, and that's why we cannot just compare or measure or associate whatsoever. Now,
Allah puts forward the example of two men, a believer and a disbeliever, a slave, disbeliever, under the possession of another. He has no power of any sort, and the other, a man, believer, on whom we have bestowed a good provision from us, and he spends thereof secretly and openly. Can they be equal? By no means.
this example there are two examples. Finish the second one and then.
All the praises and thanks are to Allah, nay, but most of them know not.
Second. وَضَرَبَ اللَّهُ.
And Allah puts forward another example of two men, one of them dumb, who has no power over anything, a disbeliever, and he is a burden on his master. Whichever way he directs him, he brings no good. Is such a man equal to one believer in Islamic monotheism who commands justice and is himself on the straight path?
Now, those examples is not easy to understand, but they are needed here in this spot to clarify the one I said, that the attribute, the actions, the names of Allah are totally different than cannot be taken or measured by what human being have. Allah, as we said, just singular. Nothing like Him. Absolutely. And all the qualities of Him totally different and unlimited. So He gave two examples. ضرب الله مثلا عبدا مملوكا لا يقدر على شيء. A slave. And that slave is not productive. Not just a slave and he is just handicapped.